Hello again. So what we'll look at today is how to change a quantity by a percentage increase or decrease. So before we start, what we'll do is we'll have a look at finding percentages of a quantity. So a quick recap really. So if we start with 10%, so 10% is 10 over 100, which then becomes 1/10. So we're looking at 1/10 of 30. So if you're doing 1/10 of 30, that is 1/10 multiplied by 30, which is then just 30 divided by 10, which gives us 3. If we've got 10%, we can quite easily find 5%, so I don't have to do 5 over 100, that's 1/20th times 30. What I can do here is I know the 10% is 3, and half of 10% is 5%, and half of 3 is 1.5. And likewise with 15, I don't have to do 15 over 100. In this case, I've got 10% as 3, I've got 5% as 1.5. I just add those two together to get 15%. So 15% is 4.5. 50% is 50 over 100, which is a half. We know a half of 30 is 15. And again, we could do 25 over 100, which is 1/4. 1/4 of 30 is 7.5, but actually it's probably easier to go from the 50 to the 25. Half of the 50 gives us 25%. So half of 15 is 7.5, as we said earlier. Again, following the theme, we've got the 50%, we've got the 25%. That gives us 75%. So to get 3/4 of 30, all I do is add the 50 and the 25% together, which is 15 plus 7.5, which gives us 22.5. 1%, that's 1/100th of 30. So you're just dividing 30 by 100, and that gets you 0.3. So the last one, 26%, well, we've got 25%, which is 7.5, and we've got 1%, which is 0.3. So we can add those two together to get 26%. Well, 7.5 add 0.3 is 7.8. So that's a real quick recap on basic percentages. Let's move forward now and start looking at changing a quantity by a percentage increase or decrease. So here we are. Sam earns £800 a week, and she gets a 3% increase. So how much does she earn now? So look at this, we're actually increasing the quantity, 800, by a percentage, 3%. So we've got 100% here, plus another 3%. So our new amount is 103% of 800. So we know that the £800 is equal to 100%. Now we want this new amount, and that's going to be equal to the 100% plus the 3%. Going to be equal to 103%. So the question is, what did we do to go from 100% to 103%? Well, actually, we multiplied that by 1.03. So this is called our multiplier. Now, this is key to what we do here. So now I take the 800 and I multiply that by 1.03. So I do that in my calculator and I get £824. So her new amount is 824. Now, before I move on, I want to show you there's another way of doing this, not a way that I would recommend all the time. I think the multiplier way is the quick method. The alternative way, which might suit some people better, and that's fine, is you find 3% and then you add it to the 800. So if you know you've got 800, well, 1% of 800 is £8. So if you've got 1%, 3% is 3 times that. It's the 3 times the 8, which gives you £24, and therefore your new amount is the 800 plus the 24, which still gives you the £824. Both of those are fine. Personally, I prefer the first method, the multiplier method. Okay, in this question, we're looking at a population of Sleaford. That's a town in Lincolnshire. So the population of Sleaford, let's call it 21,000 people. Now, over time, let's say that population has decreased. So if the population decreases by 2%, what is the new population? So if we look at this, 21,000 we know is worth 100%. It's our original amount. Now we want to decrease that by 2%. So we're actually looking at 100 minus the 2%, which gives us 98%. So again, what's our multiplier? Our multiplier here is multiplying by 0.98. So we're timesing 100 by 0.98 and we'll get 98%. So all we do here now for our new amount is we take the 21,000, we multiply that by 0.98, and we end up with 20,580. So that will be our new population. Again, you could do it the other way. You could find 1%, then find 2% and take it from 21,000. However, I still strongly recommend using the multiplier method. So the key point here is to know what the 100% is and also then to find the multiplier. Okay, let's do these next two questions. Let's try and make it a little bit more succinct. So a phone costs £370, that's our 100%, and we're going to add 20%. So we're adding 20% to our 100%. That's 120%. 120%, well, 120 divided by 100 gives you 1.2. So what we've got here now is 370 multiplied by the 1.2, and that will give us our new amount. And that's £444. Just a quick recap here. The 120 divided by 100. I divide by 100 because percent is out of 100. Okay, the next question. A car costs £25,000. That's my 100%. It depreciates. That means it goes down, not up. So I am taking away 35%. So now I've got 100% minus 35%. That gives me 65%. So 65 divided by 100 is 0.65. So that is my multiplier. So here goes. We've got 25,000 multiplied by 0.65. And we're left with the car being valued at £16,250. That might seem extreme, but actually cars do depreciate quite heavily. Okay, last two questions. Let's see if we can do this in one quick line. So we are increasing. That means we are adding to 100%. So we've got 52 kilograms. We're going to multiply that by the 100% plus the 17, which is 117%. Divide that by 100, it's 1.17, and that will give us 60.84 kilograms. This one we are decreasing. That means it's going down. Really key to me, remember this. That's 72 kilograms multiplied by, well, 100 minus 6 is 94. Divide 94 by 100, you get 0.94. That's my multiplier. And that gives us 67.68 kilograms. Okay, so that's how we decrease or increase a quantity by a percentage. Just a real quick recap. So the first one is to know which quantity is 100%. And the second one is to find and use the multiplier. As always, if you've got something from this, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.